Daylight bombing wasn't created in Europe. It was born thousands of miles away in Alabama, inside the halls of the Air Corps Tactical School. There, a group of dreamers, visionaries, or fools, depending on who you ask, believed something radical. Wars can be won from the air. Precision bombing can cripple a nation without ever sending armies. The idea was simple. Hit the right factory, the ball bearings, the oil plants, the aircraft lines, and the entire German war machine collapses like a broken gear. The theory became religion. And the B-17? It was their prophet. 4,800 horsepower, 13.50 cal guns, and a promise, a myth really, that in tight formations, these bombers could defend themselves. That was the heart of the doctrine. That was also the lie that nearly killed tens of thousands. The British didn't theorize daylight bombing. They lived it. In 1939 and 1940, the RAF sent Wellington bombers into daylight skies and watched them get slaughtered. One mission lost 50% of its bombers. Another lost 54%. Entire crews vanished in broad daylight. Families received telegrams. Commanders ran out of explanations. So by mid-1940, Britain made a choice. No more daylight raids. Only night. Only darkness. Their bombs weren't precise. They burned entire cities, Hamburg, Cologne, Essen, not factories. But their crews lived. Their air force survived. To the British, daylight bombing was suicide. To the Americans, that made it a challenge. When the Americans arrived in England in 1942, the British tried to warn them. You don't understand, they said. In daylight, the Luftwaffe tears bombers apart. But the Americans answered with doctrine, diagrams, and blind faith. Our planes are tougher. Our formations tighter. Our gunners better. Our bomb sight more precise. Both sides were right. Both sides were wrong. The British believed survival mattered most. The Americans believed accuracy mattered most. One side wanted to win by fire. The other wanted to win by precision. And then came the moment everything changed. Casablanca.
January 1943. Churchill, Roosevelt, and the Allied High Command meet in Morocco. Churchill pushes hard. Join us at night. Stop this daylight madness. The stats backed him. British losses at night were around 3 to 4%. American daylight losses? 6%, 8% and rising. At 15%, a bomber group dies in 7 missions. Enter Brigadier General Ira Eaker. Given one night to prepare a counter-argument that could save or destroy American doctrine, Eaker writes one of the most important memos in air power history, only 283 words long. He makes 4 points. Retraining for night bombing would take months. Germany would recover. Americans stop bombing. Germany wins time. Day and night bombing together create 24/7 pressure. Germany gets no rest. American bombers are built for daylight and can survive eventually. Escort fighters capable of reaching deep into Germany are coming. Just give it time. Churchill argues. Eaker holds his ground. Finally, Churchill yields, not because he's convinced, but because he understands alliance politics. The Americans get 1 year. Daytime bombing continues. Now, they must prove they can survive it. The next months become a bloodbath. German fighters, Mi-109s and FW-190s, attack from angles American guns can't reach. They fire from 800 yards away. Dive through formations. Aim for the cockpit. Aim for the engines. Aim for the weak points. When a bomber falls out of formation, the Germans call it a straggler. Stragglers don't survive. Beds empty at bomber bases. Commanders avoid eye contact with new crews. Everyone knows the math. 3 out of 4 crews will die before completing 25 missions. And then comes the day everything was building toward. August 17th, 1943. Regensburg and Schweinfurt. This was the mission that would test daylight bombing doctrine. Regensburg built 1/3 of Germany's fighter aircraft. Schweinfurt produced half its ball bearings. Destroy both, and Germany's war machine collapses. At dawn, 146 B-17s rise into the sky for Regensburg. 230 more for Schweinfurt. But weather disrupts everything. The carefully planned staggered attack collapses. Both forces fly straight into the same German defense system. At the same time, alone. What follows is 6 hours of unbroken combat. German fighters come in waves. Flak bursts rip wings and shatter windows. Smoke trails mark dying bombers. Parachutes open over fields. Some don't. 60 bombers shot down. 600 men killed, missing, or captured. The losses are catastrophic. And yet, the bombers hit both targets. Regensburg damaged. Schweinfurt production drops 34%. The Americans claim victory. But the Luftwaffe is adapting faster than the Americans can bury their dead. Germany learns quickly. Radar stations detect incoming bombers hours away. Controllers position fighters into kill zones. Aces like Heinz Barr, with over 200 victories, perfect the head-on attack. Dive. Fire. Break away. A single pass can kill the pilots and doom the bomber. In September 1943, the Americans lose 105 heavy bombers. In October, it gets worse. Then comes Black Thursday. October 14th, 1943, Schweinfurt again. 291 bombes sin. 77 never return. Over 20% losses. No air force can survive that. Deep raids are canceled. Daylight bombing collapses. The British are proven right. Or so it seems. The American doctrine wasn't wrong. It was incomplete. It needed one thing. A fighter that could go the distance. All the way to Germany. All the way back. That fighter arrives in early 1944. The P-51 Mustang. American design. British Merlin engine. Long range. High altitude. Fast. Deadly. And General Jimmy Doolittle unleashes them. He gives one order. Don't just protect the bombers. Destroy the Luftwaffe. The hunters become the hunted. In March 1944 alone, the Luftwaffe loses 1/3 of its fighter pilots. By May, they're losing 4 pilots for every American lost. The skies flip. Daylight bombing becomes survivable, and then unstoppable. By mid-1944, the Allies own the skies. American daylight bombing destroys oil refineries, synthetic fuel plants, ball bearing lines, aircraft factories. British night bombing destroys cities, housing, transportation, morale. Together, they strangle German industry. By late 1944, German tanks and planes can't move. There's no fuel. Victory came with a price. The U.S. 8th Air Force lost 5,800 heavy bombers, 26,000 airmen killed. The RAF lost 55,000 aircrew, more than the infantry, more than the Navy. Many never found, many buried in fields or forests or the sea. Their names are carved into stone at Cambridge American Cemetery. Row after row of men who proved daylight bombing could work, but paid for it with everything. In the end, both sides were right. The British were right about survivability. The Americans were right about precision. But victory only came when both ideas merged. Day by America, night by Britain, fire and steel, precision and chaos, courage and sacrifice, a strategy written not in theory, but in blood. That is the story of why America bombed by day and why Britain refused. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe to Crown History. Leave a comment and tell us where you're watching from. This community spans America and the world. Every view, every comment helps keep these sacrifices remembered. Thank you for watching and for making sure their stories are never forgotten.